Hello friends, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about just how close we actually are to the beginning or the start of the actual tribulation period. There's controversy on whether or not the church will be here during that time. I actually believe that the rapture will happen before the tribulation starts. However, some people do believe that it'll happen in the middle at some point or at the very end. Leave in the comments what you think about that. And so I want to start with, there are a lot of things in the book of Revelation that really seem sci-fi. Let's be real. There's demons, there's fallen angels, there's bottomless pits, and Antichrist, frogs coming out of people's mouths. Actually, as a preteen and early teenager, the book of Revelation was my favorite to read because I'm an artist, and I just really was inspired by all of the visuals that it puts in your mind when reading. I will say that in the beginning of the book of Revelation, it does say, blessed is he. Now this is Revelation 1, verse 3. It says, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. So us even talking about this today and reading bits out of Revelation, we are being blessed by the Lord. So that's a nice thing to know. Something that always stood out to me was a particular verse, Revelation 9, verse 6. And it says, and in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. This verse always had me struggling. How could this be? It was almost more believable for me to think about demons and angels and fallen angels and seeing these things becoming more of a reality to me than a human maybe trying to commit suicide and unable to die. This verse just really made me stumble. I actually ran across a video. It was filmed back in 2016. But I ran across it today and answered that question. And it was mind-blowing, I gotta tell you. So it was actually a video of our suspect, maybe false prophet, maybe false Messiah, maybe the Antichrist. Who knows? I'm just suspicious of him. And that is Yuval Noah Harari. So let's go ahead and just listen to what he has to say.
And we are now seriously in the business of acquiring these traditional divine abilities and qualities to ourselves, whether it's trying to overcome death and gain immortality, or whether it's gaining the ability to create and design.
For technology to get to the point where that could actually be achieved. And I think that it probably will be achieved because of that verse, at least to a degree, let's say.
And we are now seriously in the business of acquiring these traditional divine abilities and qualities to ourselves, whether it's trying to overcome death and gain immortality, or whether it's gaining the ability to create and design life according to our wishes. In the Bible, in the book of Genesis, basically the first thing God does is to create animals and plants and humans according to his wishes. We are now trying to gain this divine ability to ourselves. It's very likely that in the 21st century, the main product, the most important products of the human economy will no longer be just vehicles and textiles and food and weapons. The main products will be bodies and brains and minds. And in a way, we are even reaching beyond what ancient religions ascribed to the gods. Because the gods, like Jehovah in the Bible, they could create only organic beings. If you're a creationist and you look at the world, so all these animals, all these plants, God created them and they're all organic. Now humans are trying to do better than that. we will not just gain the ability to create these organic beings that's been around for 4 billion years. We are in the process of learning how to create the first inorganic entities, inorganic beings like artificial intelligence that ever existed. So in this sense, it's a literal claim that humans are trying to upgrade themselves into gods.
What do you guys think about that? My eyes were really open to that, because that verse has kind of been in my back pocket all of these years, wondering how is that going to be, So that gives us a real clue how close we actually are. It's literally right around the corner. So if that was back in 2016, how much closer are they now in 2023? You know what I mean? I would guarantee you've probably already seen videos on this, but the drying up of the Euphrates River, that is really very telling. It's not just a little bit. And it's more and more all the time and continues. It's actually completely dried up in Iraq. So Revelation 16:12, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. So not only is the river being dried up something that's very notable, but the angels, there's 4 angels in Revelation 9:13-15. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before God, saying to the 6 angels which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound up in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared an hour and a day and a month and a year to slay a third part of mankind. So there's actual footage. I'm sure you've already seen it. They've discovered caves. They've discovered a city. Now that the waters have receded, they have discovered even a palace that had walls 6 feet thick and 22 feet high, and tons of artifacts. They found hundreds of pieces. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the sounds that were recorded coming from underneath the river. Some people might say that that's not real. And whether it is or not, it definitely should make people think, if nothing else, about what the Bible says. And, how ironic that these things are being discovered now at this time in history. And the Bible talks about fallen angels being bound up underneath the river, and the river drying up. And, you know, all of these things are a little too coincidental for me. But there have been other sounds coming from the earth. You've probably heard these too. Russian scientists were drilling in Siberia. Actually, they were drilling in different areas, different countries. They were secretly drilling in Siberia. When they got down to 14.4 kilometers, which would be 9 miles, the drill started going wild, and it had broke through rock, and it started going wild because it wasn't actually drilling into anything. It was like an open cavern, and they expected it to be at that depth, maybe around 100 degrees, 150 degrees, but they had dropped down equipment, including a microphone, and discovered that it was over 1,000 degrees. It had actually destroyed the microphone, but there was a short few seconds where they were able to record. And this was actually, people have, you know, debated whether this is real too. But it was originally, the first time that it was actually shown or shared was in 1989 by TBN and the Trinity Broadcasting Network. It's been a while. It's been out for a while. So let's go ahead and take a listen to that.
I warn you, what you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
I've heard so many people say that all of their friends are going there, and, you know, they might as well go there too. They've already accepted the fact that they're going to go there. I've heard lots of people say that, and it's not going to be a big party. It's not going to be pleasant. Yeah, your friends might be there, but you're not going to be able to talk to them. I mean, the sound of screaming and torment, like I said, would be deafening. The physical pain that you would be in, you wouldn't be able to have a conversation even if you were able to or could. You wouldn't be able to. You know, I think of celebrities like Madonna depicting it being a big party. The sad reality that they're going to face one day. It's sad. It's very sad. So yeah, mostly I wanted to share this video that Yuval Noah Harari had said these things, what the plan is, and, you know, the sounds that are coming. It's all coming together. I want to know your thoughts on this, of course, but I did want to share that with you because I was kind of shocked that this was back in 2016. You know, talk about this implant. Is that the mark? I don't know. But I'll tell you, I don't want to be connected to AI. There's so many things that could go wrong. Even if it wasn't, you know, the mark or had something to do with that. I don't want to be connected to this world in that way. You know what I mean? So anyway, I hope that this has opened your eyes a little bit to how close we really are. I mean, we're at the door, not just the rapture, but the tribulation of the rapture, I believe, is even closer. But we're at the door of the tribulation starting. So all of these things sound kind of scary and sci-fi, I know, but, you know, the Bible does give us hope. That is our blessed hope. And it even tells us to pray that we be found worthy to escape the things that are coming on this earth, these things. So that's what I pray every day. I hope you do too. I will tell you that The Bible also tells us when you see these things happening, look up because your redemption draws near, and it is closer every day. So on that note, I hope you all have a great day, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.